Hi, I'm Steph,
Hi, I'm Katie.
and today we're talking about all things vampires. We love vampires, so we're going to be talking about some of our favorites, some of the books that we've published with vampires, and then we will end with the discussion of Dating the Undead by Juliet Lyons.
Which we are reading for book club this month and is 99 cents for a limited time.
Yes.
But to start off, I want to first say, who else is excited about Midnight Sun? I'm so excited. I remember, back when Twilight was first coming out and the early chapters were leaked, and she was like, I'm never writing this book. I'm never writing this book. So I'd given up hope. So I'm just so happy to be back in this world.
So is Edward your favorite vampire?
I wouldn't say he's my favorite. I don't know if I would necessarily say I have like an all-time favorite. Like I absolutely love Dimitri and Adrian from the Vampire Academy and spin-off series Bloodlines. I mean, they're like two very different types of people. So like they both fit into their roles so well. But even like going over into like movies and television, like the Vampire Diaries, like come on.
Okay, who's your favorite there? Who's your favorite Vampire Diaries vampire? I will go ahead and say mine is Caroline. I don't even care about David and whatever. What's his
Stefan?
name? Stefan. You think I would remember that because it's almost my name? Caroline all day.
Yeah, no, I mean they're all like such like great characters in their own way.
I gotta go a little bit old school. One of my favorite vampires is Lestat. Let me know down below if any of you guys have read Anne Rice's books or seen, Queen of the Damned or anything. Love Lestat. He's just so messed up.
I mean, like, and then we're not even talking about like the horror side of it. Like,
30 Days of Night.
30 Days of Night is such a fantastic movie.
So good.
There's such a broad range. And then, I mean, another book and TV show is the Sookie Stackhouse True Blood. I know back in the day I was like very aggressively into those.
That's got a lot of different supernatural stuff.
Yeah,
Not
I
just
think
vampires.
there's a tiger shifter, a werewolf, the whole cast.
Yeah. Which kind of reminds me of Katie and I were just talking about Being Human. Have any of you guys seen that that TV show? It's a vampire, a werewolf, and a ghost all living in an apartment together. And it is started as a British TV show. It's very British and it's very funny. So if you guys like your paranormal stuff mixed in together, that was a good one. Also, Lost Boys, taking it way back. Don't know if any of you guys have even seen that movie, but love that one. That one's scary.
Yes.
Yeah, and like What We Do in the Shadows and Dark Shadows. Of course, there's two different shows with vampires like that. There's just so many. Ooh, Fright Night. There was like an original Fright Night, and then I don't know how long ago it was, but they made a new one that had Anton Yelchin and Colin Farrell as the freaking vampire, which was and then David Tennant. And if you guys love David Tennant, highly recommend you watch that. There's a whole scene where he's shirtless.
It's been a long time since I saw that. I think it had about like 10 years ago, honestly.
I know, at least. Oh, that's we're old. Yeah, so tell us what your favorite vampire books or TV shows or movies are down below, because we always want to watch them. I had a friend recommend a South Korean vampire movie recently that's like funny. I can't remember what it is, but I'll comment down below so we can watch it together maybe.
Yes, but we publish a whole bunch of vampire romance. So if you are into supernatural, paranormal, if you're waiting for Midnight Sun and you're looking for something to read, we have a whole bunch. To start, we have Lydia Dare's It Happened One Bite. It's Regency romance with vampires. So if you are a Regency fan, you definitely want to check out Lydia Dare's series.
Yeah, also we've got Beck McMaster's series. So the first one is Kiss of Steel. These are super cool because they're historical, but they're steampunk. And so they've got that really cool kind of twist on them. They're a little bit suspenseful, they're pretty sexy, and then of course there's vampires.
So yeah, if you like, I think it's Gail Carriger.
Gail Kerrigan.
Yeah, she, this would be a great series to pick up. And then Sarah Humphries, Tall, Dark, and Vampire. It's set in New York City, and it's a very sexy series about Coven. Coven.
Coven.
So
they're kind
definitely
of cool. Have you've seen the covers where it's like neon title? I think they look really neat.
Yeah, very, very New York City.
Yeah. Then we've got Elizabeth Stab. I'm not exactly sure if that's how you pronounce her name. It's probably Stab, but I like saying Stab because it's vampires. The first one is called King of Darkness. It is perfect for fans of the Black Dagger Brotherhood. It's super sexy. It's pretty dark.
How did I forget to mention the Black Dagger Brotherhood? Like J.R. Ward, like where are my J.R. Ward fans?
Yeah. We didn't really go into books. We mostly talked about TV shows and movies.
Yeah.
A whole nother thing about vampire books.
Yeah, I read a lot of YA vampire books, but outside, I mean, J.R. Ward is definitely a favorite for adult romance vampires.
You have another one?
Oh, yes. I wasn't sure if you finished describing it.
I did.
And then another Regency vampire series from Brooklyn Anne, Bite Me, Your Grace. And there's also a nod to the creative power of books. So like if you also like books about books, this is a good series to check out.
Yeah, this is like books about books. Check. Regency. Why can't I talk? Check. Vampires. Check. It's got all of the good things.
Absolutely.
And then I'm obsessed with these just because I love the cover or the title so much. But we've got 50 Ways to Hex Your Lover. And then we've got Hex Appeal, which is hilarious. I love it. And not only is it vampires, but it's also witches. And witches are on the rise right now. So if you're interested in vampires and witches, highly recommend you check these out by Linda Wisdom.
Absolutely. And last but not least, of course, we have Ashlyn Chase's Strange Neighbor series, which, if going back to what Steph said earlier, if you're a fan of Being Human, this is Being Human as a paranormal romance series.
Yep. It's got the same vibe. It's got the vampires, the werewolves all living together. It's super fun. So let's talk about Dating the Undead. So today we are talking about the beginning of Dating the Undead. We're keeping today's video spoiler free. So we're just kind of talking about our overall thoughts so far. And then next Friday, we'll be talking about the whole rest of the book, super spoilery, all the twists and turns and surprises. So look out for that one. What's your favorite part so far?
I have to say, I'm loving how funny this book is.
Yes.
I've highlighted several lines already that, as I was reading, like made me audibly laugh. Like I was like, the humor and the banter between the two main characters, Silver and Logan, is like, they're so like, I don't know what the word I want to use. Like,
it's like perfect banter. It's like, if you guys, we kind of hate like going back to like it's this meets this, but if you love Bridget Jones' Diary, take that, shove a bunch of vampires in it, and you've got Dating the Undead. It's that dry, sarcastic kind of humor, which for me is exactly what I want.
Yeah, and it's like it's so British in the best ways.
Yeah, and it's not British in the way that like you won't understand the humor, because some people don't necessarily understand British humor. This one you'll still get. It's just kind of that drier. I don't know. I love it. It's my favorite.
I'm also obsessed with it, right?
Yeah. I can't wait to see like all the more jokes. Maybe next week we'll kind of go through some of our favorite lines.
I highlighted some ones that
We're not talking about that one on camera, Katie.
Straight face.
My favorite thing so far is the world.
Yeah.
It is so interesting. So this is a world where vampires exist. People know that they exist. There was an actress a few years back that was basically like, guess what? I'm a vampire. They're real, and was tired of hiding in the shadows, essentially. So vampires exist, but they don't need blood to survive, but they still enjoy a sip here or there, which is super interesting.
Yeah, I earlier described it to Steph. I was like, it's kind of like how alcohol is to humans. Like, humans don't need to drink alcohol to survive, but it's something that can give people like the boost that they want. Vampires don't need the blood to survive, but sometimes they want to get the boost.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And then, so also in this world, there is a dating site for people who want to date vampires. It's not for vampires who want to date vampires. It's for humans who want to date vampires, which I feel like if we found out that vampires were real, like that is absolutely a thing that would happen.
Would you be on it?
No. No, thank you.
I would totally be on it.
I don't like the idea of dating someone who's like 400 years old. I don't know. But so our main character, Silver, runs into our love interest, Logan, at the beginning of the book, and they share a passionate kiss with a little bit of a bite. And Silver kind of decides after that that human men don't do it for her anymore. So she joins V-Date and starts kind of dating vampires here and there. And of course, she gets not reintroduced, but she finds her way back to Logan, and realizes that it's not just humans that don't do it for her. It's pretty much no one except for Logan. And it's just really cool. Like this whole world is really well built. It's believable, even though it's vampires and dating vampires and all of that kind of stuff. So huge props to Juliet for that.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that's really all we're going to cover this week, just to keep it real spoiler free, but to give anyone who hasn't picked up the book yet kind of an introduction to what they're getting into.
Right. And just a reminder, like Katie said, just for this book club for a limited time, Dating the Undead is only 99 cents. How could you possibly miss out on that?
Pick it up. You can read it on your phone.
Yeah, you can read it on your phone. That's what both of us are doing. So pick up a copy, and next week we'll be discussing the rest of the book. Until then, tell us about your favorite vampires down below, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.